Welcome to Starfleet Universe On Call. I am Paul Franz, owner of Franz Games. I've been SFU Online, FedCom Online, and Starfleet Warlord. Just a reminder how to join us with a talkcast every Thursday night starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can either call on the phone just on 605-562-0444 and follow the directions. The call ID is 17702. Or you can participate on the web. Just go to the TalkShoe website at www.talkshoe.com and search for call ID 17702 or Starfleet Universe On Call or SFU On Call. Or if you want the best online experience, then I would suggest you go over to twitch.tv. Yes, twitch.tv/SFU On Call, and you will find us there. And of course, if you need to contact me for any reason, my email address is sfuoncall@gmail.com. It's sfuoncall@gmail.com. Also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I have multiple accounts there. One of those is SFU On Call. Oh, shocker. And another one is my personal account, which is Paul Franz, PAULFRANZ. There is no T in that. And my business account, which is Franz Games, FRANZGAMES. If you want to keep up to date on what's happening with SFB Online and Starfleet Warlord, feel free to follow me there. And of course, this lovely Talkcast gets turned to a podcast available on iTunes and various other feeds around the net. When it comes to ADB, it's still very, very quiet. You know, I'm sure Mr. Cole is keeping up to date on his medical concerns. You know, last time he had a little bit of skin cancer, which had to remove on his head, so the skin was a little tight, so it was really makes it really hard for him. But he's still doing good. Steve Petrick is still working on the Orion Master Starship book. I can't wait for that to come out. That'd be really nice to see. And this week, on Found on the online store, we actually have spare parts for the Marines. So in case you have a copy of one of the Marines products, whether Last Assault or Last Stand or Marine Assault, forgive me, they have the colored maps for that. The Marine Assault color map is only $15. You can it's 22 by 25 and a half. It's a full color map designed by Xander Fulton. For those of you in the SCP universe, you know who Xander Fulton is. And this will work with the map in Last Stand also, so they can be used together. Moving onward and forward from that, we have, of course, the Sapphire Star 16 tournament. Well, we have 7 out of the 8 games are completed. The only game that's not completed, hi, it's me. Me and Jeff Clark. Obviously, we have to do things a little bit at a time because he's all the way in Japan. So it's, I'm not, I know it's more than a 12-hour, there's like a 14-hour difference, I think. Because basically, I start 5 o'clock p.m. my time, it's 7 a.m. his time, so that means it's like 14 hours difference between the two. So we can do things a little bit at a time. We're progressing. And for those of you on the video feed, whether it's YouTube or live on the Twitch, you will see an update on that game. I've got basically more weapons and power than he does. He's got more shields than me. So that's the lowdown. Also, next turn he will have no torpedoes. He only has the two S torps available. His F torps are gone. So he has the one S torp, 2, but he used this current turn. The other S torp he used last turn. So his next turn he will have no torps available, and he has no batteries. So he can't do a fast load F either. So that makes a huge difference for that. So it's the really, really tight game. I've got between on my ship, between everything, I've got like 14 boxes of Shield. So if you actually want to see what it looks like, bring up the YouTube video or go to twitch.tv, either one, and you should be able to see the actual. Also, if you want to, I did post those pictures in the discussion board on the starfleetgames.com website. So if you want to go see them there, you can go see them there. That's another way of seeing them. I've not actually posted them on Facebook, but it is what it is. Now, onward and forward to the online client. When it comes to the online client, actually, I did do some work this past Monday. Since I had a day off of work, I decided to focus on a feature that was requested, which is the ability to copy and paste drone layouts. And actually, this is completed. And one thing I will be doing as part of the podcast tonight is for those on the video feed. You will actually be able to see this, which is me just showing off this feature to people before we get into the month. It's probably only won't be one monster for this week. Moving onward and forward, when it comes to library report, there's nothing new when it comes to SFB or FedCom this week. No updates, though I think there's some updates waiting for me to process for the SFB. So with that is the news for this week. And it's me, SMO, all Paul friends, welcoming you to Starfleet Universe On Call. And tonight, well, it's me, hi, and Doug. Say hi, Doug.
Hi, Doug.
Awesome. So tonight, actually, before we get on to another space monster, which we're going through them all, and talk about. No, I saw a couple of scenarios when it comes to the space dragons that we missed. One that was actually kind of interesting, but I think I'm just gonna let that slide because I want to move on to the next monster. But before we do, I want to go do two things for those on the video feed. Numero uno. Don't mind me. I need to set up my monitor over here. And like that, and like that, and get rid of that. I need to get rid of the sound because if I don't get rid of the sound, you guys are gonna hear a really awful echo. Okay, but it's all set. Now we're gonna start with actually a quick review of the status of my tournament game. As I mentioned in the news portion, that I'm not doing too bad, not doing great, but I'm definitely in a better situation than I was last turn. Okay, I'm gonna bring it up. Okay, this is the current map. The current map is now the one issue here. I'm right here. I am 3 hexes directly aft to my opponent. Now we're both facing each other's shield number 4. So I'm facing directly away from him. He's going the opposite direction. Now this is obviously a bad thing. If I was best situation would be me being up here. Now the problem is at the moment is that I've used my 1 het bonus. So if I try to do another het, like let's say next turn, that I have the possibility of failing. So right now we're 3 hexes away. I'm in hex 0308 and he's in hex 0606. So
Did you show that on the map, on the video feed?
Oh, that's a good thing I forgot to switch. Forgive me, I forgot to switch OBS to point to my screen. There it is. For those of you on the video feed, now you can see what the actual board looks like. So you know, on the video feed, you can see that this is how the Firehawk went. He started here, and he just kept on going around here and kind of finally up. He started fast and then started slowly going slower and slower until at the moment we're both moving speed 9. Me, I started over here. I was around here at the beginning of turn, and then I came up around here, going. This is a side slip, and then come back. So I was able to basically, since he was cornered, I was able to. I started speed 19, went down to speed 14. The idea, when it comes to that, was to have it so that I had 2 impulses in a row, which I moved. The idea was, hopefully, if he wasn't going too fast, I might actually be able to run into him. Nope, he started at speed 27, so that was nothing there. But I was able to turn here and basically pin him, so that he could not get away. And I finally slammed him against the. He was running against the wall. I didn't slam him against the wall, but I slammed my ESG against him on his shield number 5. So at the moment, his ship looks like this. Shield number 5 is down. Shield number 2 is half, and shield number 3 is a little more, not as much. But I was able to knock out a lot of his weapons, including, basically he's down to 2 phaser 1s, FX and FA, phaser 1, and a phaser 3. Also, he uses plasma A on me. Actually, it was not enveloping. I'm assuming the reason it was not enveloping was because he needed the power to move quite quickly. And unfortunately, I needed power too. Otherwise, I would have done a lot more damage to him. To do what I needed to do, because I used up all my phasers last turn, I figured the number one critical thing to put my power towards for weapons was phasers. So I had to reload all my phasers last turn. So that's 7 points of power right there, gone. Renewing my weapons, because I actually got one phaser 1 was destroyed last 2 turns ago. At this point, but so if you notice, all his batteries are gone. Both plasma Fs are gone. He just has two plasma S's. He fired this one, launched this one last turn, and that wiped out my shield number 2. And right, so this one, it won't be available for 2 turns. The turn that's coming up, which is going to be turn 9, it won't be available until turn 10. So he won't have any heavy weapons available for another turn. In the meantime, he still has his phasers. Now, if you notice, his shields are pretty darn good. He just has the one shield over here. Shield number 5 is down. Shield number 2 obviously got hurt, and shield number 3 got some damage from various disruptor fire that I have fired at him during the turn. Also, overall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's down 8 power. So he started, if I recall correctly, he starts at 38 power, and so he's down to 30. Now, this is what's left of my ship. If you notice on this ship, I actually have many weapons. He missed on the weapons. He didn't, for the whole turn, with all the internals he got 1 weapon. Actually, 2 weapons, 3 weapons. He knocked out 2 phasers, 2 phaser 1s, and a disruptor. He got 3 with all the damage. He got lots of hull. Surprisingly, quite a bit number of control spaces. So much so, I got 2 control boxes left. I got bridge and flag bridge. That's all I've got. He knocked out my emergency bridge, my aux control, and one of my bridge. I was like, what? That's weird. But also, you notice, in total, between shield number 4, shield number 3, and shield number 6, I have a total boxes of 15. 15 total boxes.
You need to speed up and get that down shield of his.
Well, that's and it's
Get rid of his plasmas.
oh, agreed. See,
Fading phasers.
that's the thing. He did not hit any of my ESGs. I got both ESGs intact,
It
which is
doesn't matter. I mean,
and I know,
weird.
but at the same time, I kind of okay. I'll talk about that after the game's over. There's one mistake. I think he made a huge mistake in my mind, but we'll talk about it after the game's over. That's the only reason I'm still surviving, basically.
How many weapons do you have available this turn yet?
I got them all.
You didn't fire any of them?
Oh, him or me?
You.
I have all of them are available. They just need to be charged. Remember, we just finished turn 8, Impulse 32, turn 8. We're going to start with turn 9. The problem, as I pointed out,
Oh, that map was the end of the turn.
this is the end of the turn. This is where we currently are.
Okay.
He's going that way. I'm going that way. We're center line between.
Yeah, I got it.
And as I said, in theory, I could het, but I'm taking a chance because I've already used my het for this turn. I mean for the game. Yeah, I did do a het. But I took a risk.
ESG cycle up again.
ESGs will be up again. They're available late this upcoming turn because of I'm trying to think about. We were around the middle of the turn. Yeah, we were around the middle of the turn, between the middle turn to late, in the latter half of the turn, but still right around. It's like impulse 20 when the ESGs went down. They finally hit him. Actually, they hit him and they hit 2 of his shuttles, which I destroyed. He launched them so that the idea was that his shuttles would absorb it. Now he's now got 3 shuttles are gone. He's got 1 shuttle left. I have 1 shuttle left.
Okay.
Dave's saying risk the het.
Yeah.
Well, the key thing here would be
in the same direction as him right now.
no opposite direction. Opposite.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell that from the picture.
Yeah, I know. The point of turn. I took this right at the end of the game, right before he had to go off to work, and I did not bother to bring my counter to the top, but I'm pointing that direction.
I see where you're at. Okay.
Yeah, because I came down here, direction D, then I was able, then turned, side slipped. Actually, no, yeah. Then I turned this direction, and then I side slipped to here, and so I'm directly aft. So, so I'd have to het either directly facing him or this way. The tough part obviously is that he's going to turn. Most probably he's going to turn this direction, this way, to protect that shield number 5. And if I try to overrun him, he's going to batter me down with his phasers, and I'm going to take more internals and probably take some weapons are going to disappear. The good part, as I pointed out in my post, is that I've only lost 5 power out of my 38, and I'm 2/3 movement cost ship.
Do you have your number 4 shield up?
Yes. See?
Okay.
Eek.
Because I can't see that in the video. It's cut off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fine.
This. Ding. There. That should do it. This is
not, the het is a potential, but it's only really a potential if it's going to put you where you're going through his down shield.
right, and
That,
it
that's
will.
the key.
Yep.
On
There's
the other hand, if he turns and he puts his number 3 shield to you, he might brick it a little bit. But if you can turn back to him, standard disruptors and phasers should probably could take that out at medium range. So
but the shield number 3.
yeah, his shield number 3.
Mm-hmm.
If he's repaired that, it looks like.
Yeah, he repaired 2 boxes.
But it's 24 box shield and he's down 8, so
16.
got a 16 box shield. You catch him in overloaded disruptor range, there you go.
Yep.
You know, handful of phaser ones, disruptors. Maybe you'll take out his remaining phasers that are available through that arc and
Yeah.
and one of his torps. And as long as he doesn't catch you
Mm-hmm.
with an enveloper, it's kind of game over.
Yep. And remember, if we help us catch him with an enveloper, in that I still have a wild weasel available. I still have one more shuttle, so that's the good thing. Now,
But speed could also help with that too.
mm-hmm.
You know, just saying. So.
Right. The question is whether he's going to start the turn fast or slow. Because at the
4 at you, so there's a pretty good chance that he might go fast to put some distance and turn around.
Yep.
For when he has his plasma the next turn. It might even wait another turn to get his other plasma up.
He has to. Well, yeah, true. The one thing he might do is want to use his phasers to whittle me down in the meantime.
Well, yeah, the problem for him is he's only got 3 phasers.
Agreed. And right now, if it,
and they don't bear.
Yeah, the only currently here's the one thing that in theory I could do, and it's a chance because I'd have to take the het and pray that I don't break down.
Yeah.
Because and that is if I het directly back and use most, basically go like speed 0 and do a het and blast them with disruptors and phasers in the hope that I get his weapons. If I get his weapons, actually I won't be able to get his weapons because if I destroy the torp, he's going to destroy the torp that's already used. He's not going to destroy the one that he's charging.
You have to destroy 2 torps.
Yep, that means I'd have to do a Mizia.
The problem is you're on a full strength shield right now.
Right. That's why, as I said, I had to hit him with fully overloaded disruptors, which means 3 of them for 24 to knock it down, and then use phasers to go to bop them.
Yeah, well, the other side is that this is a game where patience can pay off a lot too.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And
understood.
You've got a maneuver advantage. You've got a speed advantage that you could pull. His big problem is he's down to 5 weapons.
All right. Agreed.
You know, that's his biggest problem. But he's got most of his shields up.
Right. But at the same time, also, he can't. He's
You don't have, if you go to speed 0, you don't need to head. You can
Right.
turn twice before one impulse, one
Right.
warp, before he even gets out of overload range.
Oh, agreed. Agreed.
But on the other hand, you give up your speed advantage. And what you
Oh.
could do is you could just go high speed, charge your phasers, go standard disruptors, and just kind of go to town on them. Get that, just keep the pressure on that down shield, because standard disruptors at a decent bit of range, if you're getting his down shield, you got that potential to Mitzi away his torps.
Oh, agreed. Agreed. If I get on the down shield, he's got a big issue.
Yeah, and even if you get on his, he could make a stern chase out of it, or he could actually head at you and basically overrun you, tractor you, because you're going so slow at the end of that turn,
But
and
so
drop
is he.
developer on you.
So is he.
Yeah.
We were both going speed 9.
Okay.
So both max speed for the next turn is speed 19. Both of us.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
so it will be interesting. I got to figure out what my plan for attack is for the turn. Because obviously, if he heads and goes right towards me and tractors me, I might have an issue. If I That's only if I stay slow and he actually is able to catch up with me. If I'm going my max speed 19, he'll never catch me because he can't go any faster than me. And if you notice, we're at the top corner of this is the corner of the map is right here. So this way is a lot of map. And for him, it's a lot of map. And my guess is that he wouldn't do that. He's probably going to take time because he's got the shields. And for him, he can survive me. Well, if he's actually able to attack me, he's able to knock things down quite easily because I don't have much shields. As you can see, no shield number 1, no shield number 2, no shield number 5, gone. And neither him or I have batteries, so that makes things interesting, as they say. As I said, unfortunately, I didn't have that much power last turn, so I fired these 2 disruptors here. One standard, one overload. That's it. I didn't have power enough to do anything else. Because, as I said, 7 points of power was just for charging up my phasers. If I didn't have to do that, then that guy could have hurt him even more. And I'm not. Actually, we might not have. He might be toast by then. Not sure. Because the problem is getting him more weapons. That means I'd have to do another Mizia. Another and I'm not sure if I would be able to have.
I think you should go max speed and press your maneuver advantage.
Yeah.
The only problem with the head is it gives him a 1/3 chance of winning outright.
Oh, agreed.
On
but
one
is it?
die.
Mm-hmm.
So, the problem is you've turned around completely.
Right.
So.
Well, as the thing is, he came around here, came down, turned here. And then right here, this is when he changed the speed 9. So he was able to go here, side slip, turn, as you can see here, and go that way. Well, I'm coming around here. I'm facing here, and then I come down here. And when he turns, I'm kind of stuck at that point. Because he's crossing right in front of me, and I can't turn to get myself facing towards him. So he's flying right past me. With me having nothing to, I had nothing to fire at him.
Well, the other side is you got FX disruptors,
Right.
so you could go a little bit slow in the beginning, do a quick turn, have the two FX guys on overload, then speed change up, and catch his number 3.
Yeah, I could
See if
definitely.
you see if you can take that down at fairly close range, and put some phasers in with it.
Yeah, because definitely, I feel pretty confident. He's at the very least, it's going to might go. What? He might go straight this way, or not straight up this, maybe straight this way, and then turn towards the other corner. In which case, if he does go to the other corner, I can go chase him. No, just stay here for the moment. Um,
He's also got the enveloper coming up,
right, that's a possibility. They
and
might.
if you've only got one shuttle left, it might not be a bad idea for him to go forward, turn, launch that enveloper at you, regardless of what you're gonna do, because if you spend all of your weapons on it, that's going to let him work on repairing some shields.
Yeah,
Or
but remember,
weapons
again, Doug. Remember, next turn he has no weapon. He has no torps.
this coming turn.
This coming turn, he has no torps.
Oh, in that case, go as fast as you can and just maneuver to get on his down shield. Because if you end the turn, even if you're at range 9, but you're on his down shield, 4 standard disruptors into that is going to put a hurting on him.
Oh, agreed. The tough part about it is that I don't think I can get on his down shield because of if I go up this way, he can just turn this way. If I go down this way, he'll just stay here and have this side of his ship towards the wall up here. So
I don't see him star castling,
Oh, me neither.
because that would be basically an invitation for you to overrun him with ESGs.
Agreed.
So you might want to consider a slow start and a turn to your left, followed by another turn to your left, and have all your stuff overload. Because the problem he has is, even if he turns up, tries to circle around in that corner, if you if you start off a little bit slow, you can see what his intention is. But you turn left, if you end up having to make a tight circle that keeps him in that corner, that's okay.
Oh, jeez.
He's going to have to turn and present a shield to you at some point. And if he decides to run straight out, and you manage to turn around a bit, you're going to be able to have him pinned against that wall for a while.
Oh yeah. That's the one thing is that yes, I could, in theory, get him cornered again. I can come around. I come around this way. He'll stay. Probably go this way and go. He's not going to come towards me. He's probably going to go for the upper corner.
I would go for the middle of the map if I was him. Like, try and go to the opposite corner. If he's got.
You mean this? You mean down this direction? Downward?
Yeah, exactly.
So you'd want me to come around here, and
What I was suggesting is it probably would behoove you to start slow with a speed change that lets you get 2 moves in, but also starting a little bit slow will make him commit to not going into that corner. If he goes into that corner, then you try to turn up after him, he could just as easily run back out of that corner. And he's really not going to go into that corner if it's going to give you an opportunity to overrun him with ESGs and tractoring him and everything else under the sun when he's got next to nothing, you
Right.
overrunning him with your weapon suite is the end of his ship.
Hmm.
And if you go on a fully down shield or a fully up shield, because yeah, you get to point blank range, that thing's a monster.
Hmm. Oh, agreed.
And
Agreed.
the only thing he could hope to do would be to whittle off some of your weapons with his remaining 3 phasers.
Yeah. Because
And
unfortunately,
that's assuming that neither of his plasma
jeez, cat.
quick Fs. Would he be able to do a quick F on you?
No, as I said, he has no batteries.
No batteries. Okay then. So if you're completely safe from him this turn,
Oh, when it comes to torps, I'm completely safe. Yes.
you're completely safe from torps.
Yes.
Then you keep him at as close a range as you can and try to maneuver to get either his number 3 or his number 5 shield. And if you could actually get any shield at range 2 or 1, alpha that thing. And the longer it takes you to turn all the way around and get close to him, the closer you are to having your ESGs coming back online. So
Understood. So yeah, so
at this point, it's like I almost wouldn't even be that concerned about the ESGs, but the problem is you have no reserve batteries, so if you're
exactly
going to charge them, charge one of them, but
agreed.
maybe not both of them.
Yeah, I probably
You have that chance of him blowing one up.
yeah I have to check the rules for ESGs. I've been very poor about that.
They have a
Um,
capacitor.
yeah, but
This version has the capacitor upgrade, so you could throw power into one of them. It's going to be there next turn if you don't use it.
understood. But here's the thing. I think putting energy into the ESGs is a waste of energy on this turn because it obviously priority weapon is phasers.
I disagree. The phasers become your priority only if he allows you to overrun him, and even if you headed, if you have speed parity together, and you survive the head, you're going to be at range 3, and your disruptors will do more damage. I don't see him letting
That, that
you.
that's assuming I do a head and
That's
take the
assuming you do it. Or
yeah.
even if you do the poor man's head and you just turn twice at speed 0 using impulse and warp tack, he's still going to be able to keep you out of the range where you'll be utterly devastating to him with phasers. If you both go maximum speed and you head to go after him, you can't get any closer to him unless you get up against the wall and, well, side slipping and going along that wall. He'll be able to keep you at that range the whole turn.
Yeah. Oh, agreed. Agreed.
So, I mean, your phasers wouldn't be worthless, but as far as damage output potential goes, your disruptors do so much more. And the other side of that is if you manage to turn around and you catch a down shield, but it's outside of overload range. Aw, Kazini attack. You get
Yes.
you can still tear up, that partially down shield, or you could go through the down shield if you catch that one.
Mm-hmm.
And if you fire all overloaded disruptors at this range, you can still tear down a shield.
Oh,
You do it
agreed.
on, you do it on impulse 32, then impulse 1 of the next turn, it's all phaser 1s in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's up to you. I mean, I would almost flip a coin, but the only thing I wouldn't want to do is give him any extra range unless you're going at max speed to turn and pin him against that wall or keep him in that corner. And I don't see turning to the right as a good option unless
Oh,
unless he had to.
oh,
You
I
turn
totally.
to the left and come down and around, you're going to be able to pin him against that wall.
Oh, agreed. And then I think that's definitely, you don't want to go this way. You want to have it go to the left because that gives me the most options. Because he's not going. Because if I go to the left here, even if it takes a while to come around and so forth, he's not going to want to come this direction, come straight down here because of I can maintain range at that point. If I come down here, he's going to go flying up towards this top corner, which keeps the shield against this wall, protects this side of his ship, and so that when he comes around, he can come around this way. His number 5 shield is still against the wall instead of towards me. He's never, because if he comes down this direction, at some point he'll probably have to turn this way.
I think the ultimate thing you're going to want to do is basically get in on his, just get in on him at point blank range. Give him 4 overloaded disruptors, any phasers you can have powered on impulse 32, and on impulse 1 of the next turn, finish him off with everything else.
Yeah, I got to repair my disruptor. I only got 3.
So.
Anyway. Okay, moving on forward before we come.
Something monsters, right?
I haven't. I'm not gonna get to the monsters yet because I want to show. Okay, let's do single player mode. I don't want to actually have to log in to do this. And what I'm going to do is go bring up this, bring up game 1 in action. I'm going to make this simple myself. I'm going to do a restore game. And bring this up. Now, go over here. Go expendables, go C8 expendables, and seeking weapons. If you see, here's the current loadout for the C8. Now, one thing the thing I just added on Monday, which was you can have it so that like that, and why not 3? Let's make that one a 1F. Okay. Hit the copy using the keyboard command, and then paste, and all of a sudden you got the loadouts copying from one drone rack to another. Now, given the way I'm saving it to the clipboard, there's one other thing you can do, which is here's a loadout in a text file, which is just basically what it was before, which was a type 4X, which means I forget what that means, and then a type 1XF, which that's explosive. X means explosive, and type 1XF is a one space explosive with fast propulsion. That's what was used in the client. So, what we can do, take this, pipe this into PB copy on the Mac. What PB copy does is it allows you to take, in this case, anything that's output of the screen. I'm piping it, means standard out is coming in as a standard in for next process. In the case of the PB copy, that puts anything that's on stream in, it puts that onto the clipboard. So I'm going to put that now on the clipboard. Now if I go up here and I hit Control V in this case Command V, because that's the command. And all of a sudden, now I've just pasted in the full loadout of the ship. So now players that are actually playing a ship that has a number of drone racks can actually can easily save their loadouts. Take this. Let's say okay, I want these. Just say these three. Let's copy it now. If I bring up my editor, let's say new dash load out, and let's say add and paste. There it is. There's my loadout. So then you can take that, you can save it. In the case of, obviously for Windows, you can use like Notepad. I recommend definitely using Notepad, something that saves it as pure text. So that when you can take that, if I want to, it's copied. Now if I want to, I can actually go up here and just say, okay, paste. Change the loadout there. So once you can copy these and paste these to the other ones. That I have to fix. That shouldn't be legal. That's a bug. I found a bug right here, because one thing it definitely does, just to let you know the way it works, is that it reads the loadout from the clipboard, and first thing it does is it takes the drone rack that you highlighted. It will clear the drone rack, so it's all gone. Then what it will do is add the drones one at a time. In this case, it will add this one and this one. So let's say this case, this is an A rack. If I had a whole setup for a B rack, let's just do that, and that one. Oop, too much, because that's 6 spaces. So let's take this, copy. Oops, I just pasted. I'm sorry. That and that. Now let's copy this time this one, and you go to here. Since these are only 4 spaces, you only can copy 4 spaces, because it will copy the type 4, then it'll copy the type 1. It'll try to copy the type 4 and go, no, you can't. So it'll skip that one, and then it will copy the next one over, which is the type 1. So it's smart in that regard. Obviously, it should not be able to do that. That's illegal. So I need to add a check into making sure that you can't load, like in the case it's an ad rack, you should only be able to paste in dogfight drones. That's the only kind of drones you can actually paste in there. That, or obviously an ad round. But you should be able. So in other words, if you have a bunch of ad racks, you should be able to also preload those things too. So it makes things a lot easier for those who have a lot of drone racks, and you can save your loadouts locally on your machine in text files, and then just do copy paste, and set up, and so you can just quickly set up the loadouts for each of your ships. And if you know what kind of the drones you're going to have, what's the loadout. Sorry, not the loadout. What the type of drone you have, because obviously one of the things, you can do here is you can create your own drones. Call it a super drone. It's going to be a fast drone. Let's make it type 4. Give me 1 explosive strength, and then give me 1 space of null. So it can take a bit of damage. Actually, no, it won't take more damage, but it won't do as much. But yeah, that's more for against an ESG. And so like that, and go okay. Now you have super. So if you want to, you can go here, and it's now we have not enough room. Big surprise. This one, you can change that to that. So now that's going to be type 4-XNF. And if you wanted to, obviously the symbology here, you can then actually write it all up yourself. You can actually create a text file with your loadout without actually using the client first. If you know the format, which is pretty simple, type, and then that designator right here. Relatively simple. And if you want to know the symbology, it's all listed right here. You'll see the letters right here. So that was one of those things that I was working on Monday. And just for those of you interested, one thing I plan on doing next week is I will be taking off my day job. The whole week I'm taking off. I'm not working my day job. The whole idea of it is something simple. Basically, act as if I'm retired. In that, focus on SFB Online and Starfleet Warlord stuff.
Oh man, I was gonna say you could come watch some God Kids.
No, that was not the plan.
So you watch the grandkids. I got the second best thing for you. They're God Kids.
Well, it's understood, Doug. But
Godfather's coming. You need to clean the place. Get to it, boy. Oh my God, that would be such a great thing. You could. I approve this pretending to be retired for a week.
Well, I might not. If I stay there too long, I might not pretend anymore. I might get fired. But anyway, yeah. Lord knows. Doug, you don't want me to come to your house for a day. You really don't, because your Erica might want to kill me. So.
No, I'm okay with it. I get really tired of being the sole person that says clean this thing.
Understood. And there's, yeah.
But yeah. Plus,
Listen.
you don't have to look at that part. You can actually go to the part that I keep somewhat neat. we could play overclocking games. I actually did switched all the parts around, and with the best GPU and the 16 gigs in it, the Linux Mint wouldn't run Eve. I mean, it'll start the client, it'll do everything, but it's not like it's not able to run the game. And I think the biggest part of that is just having the Steam overlay running at the same time. When Steam wants to have a minimum software requirement of 16 gigabytes.
Right.
I think that's just hogging it up.
And
even when I shut it down, it's still running in the background. So, yeah.
Understood. Okay. With that was the two things I wanted to do quickly. Obviously, that was not the case. So we're going to at least go through one monster, which is, in this case, the monster with scenario SM8, which is from I forget which captain's logs it is. I know if Russ was on, he would tell me immediately what it was, because of Actually, he gave me a document which states, I think it might be at the beginning of this document where it came from. Yeah, in fact, I know at the beginning of this document here says where it came from. I think it's caps log 32. I think I'm trying to do this from memory, and my memory might not be so good because I've read it like once or twice, you know. But it's of course Igneous. I'm sure if you've seen the captain's log, the captain's log that has this in it. Actually, this is the main scenario for that captain's log, and on the front of it is the Igneous itself with a starship. I remember seeing that. I think it even has a planet on it. Obviously, in this case, the scenario says, as stated, heading on a collision course for a densely populated planet is a huge planetoid called Igneous. A starship sent to divert the menace is greeted by hails of weapons fire. And just a reminder, okay, the Igneous is an enemy. Big surprise. It's a robot battle station is what it is. Built with an extragalactic power. Another extragalactic power that's out there that wants to kill us. Big surprise.
Probably watched our TV series from the 50s. They didn't get up to the good stuff in the 60s.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that reminds me of a post I saw on Facebook. I read it today, which was from Peter Pakia, which was he watched the 2 seasons of Space 1999. So, you want to talk about?
Yeah, it said it aged rather well.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you mentioned how season 1 was really freaky. Season 2 was more sillier. He said sillier and a lot more action. And part of that seems to be related to originally they had canceled the show, but then last minute they brought it back. I'm not. See, here's the one thing. I'm not sure when that show was on in the time frame of TV, whether it was competing against Star Trek or not, or maybe Battlestar Galactica or some. I don't think it was competing against Battlestar Galactica because I think that Space 1999 was on TV around the 1970s. And I'm pretty sure Battlestar Galactica wasn't until the 80s. I forget.
Well, let's see what our friend the internet says. Since we're on the internet.
Well,
75 to 77. 2 series. So.
That's Space 1999 or Battlestar?
Yeah, Space 1999.
Okay.
1975 to 1977. 2 seasons.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. And yeah, I knew I felt pretty confident saying it was in the 70s, but and I think Star Trek was in the 60s.
Yes, it was. Star Trek was a latter part of the 60s.
Right, and then the Battlestar Galactica.
It also came back into syndication.
True, which means it was kind of competing with it. In syndication, which was very popular in syndication. I can tell you that. I forget when Battlestar Galactica came out. I mean, the first the original one. Before it went to what, the Sci-Fi Network?
Well, Sci-Fi Network was decades later.
Oh, I know. But
let's see. '78. So this is interesting because that's 75 to 77 run.
Right.
Which actually precedes Star Wars. And then you've got Battlestar Galactica comes out the year afterwards. And Star Wars is right in the middle.
Yep.
Original television series is in 1978 for Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, I picked that up. It's like, wow. I still remember what was interesting with the original Battlestar Galactica was that near the end part of the original series, the episodes were about that they found Earth, and then they were basically doing these outings on Earth.
That was their jump the shark moment.
Yeah, exactly. Right, then we have the later. Wow. Galactica.
That
Oh,
was
that.
Galactic 1980, actually.
Right. Right. That's the
There was a
10.
miniseries
Right.
and another series. So,
Ah, yes.
the nostalgia.
Yeah, I know. Because I love Battlestar Galactica.
Well, and the thing with Space 1999 was I think the biggest thing was the special effects wise,
Hmm.
for all the space stuff. They kind of picked up off of the Kubrick version of doing stuff from 2001. It's very reminiscent of that,
Hmm.
even though it's like what, a decade or more later.
Oh, understood. And Lord knows, I'm
They put a
still.
good production value in that part, and that's what kind of made the series for a lot of people,
Hmm.
more so than a lot of the other premises of it, because from science fiction is more of a science fantasy thing, like the moon traveling to all those different places
Right. Right. Um,
and situations.
yeah, it's definitely interesting in that regard. The thing about. Can you stop that? I forget the premise of why the moon goes where it goes. I think does the Earth explode or something like that?
They have a nuclear explosion on the far side, the opposite side from where
Uh,
everybody's living. They
mm,
had a big old nuclear reactor or storage depot or some kind where they, if I remember correctly, because I already closed the wiki page. Sorry,
that's fine.
the basic premise was they were using it to store nuclear waste, and it all went kaboom one day, and that was sufficient to propel the moon out of the Earth's orbit.
Which would be I can imagine what would happen to the Earth.
Well, for purely physics, oh, they actually addressed that in one of the episodes. And yeah, it was kind of like what the doom and gloom of the global warming thing from 20 years ago was, which was the whole thing about like wild weather and unpredictable weather and global warmingness and tornado that and blah blah blah. The But from a physics standpoint, I think if you actually had a nuclear depot on the far side of the moon, not facing the Earth, and it went off, it wouldn't actually drive the moon out of the Earth's orbit
Yeah,
at
yeah.
all,
Oh, agreed.
and it probably wouldn't even push it towards us much, although it might slow or stop the very slow increase in its orbit that's continual.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I would think
which I
that.
think would not be a bad thing actually.
Yeah, I would think the amount of energy to actually put the move out of the orbit would have the possibility of actually destroying the moon altogether. So.
Oh, probably, very likely.
Oh, Enos is okay. Oh, Enos is in module S1, and Enos is on the cover of Captain Log number 41. Thank you, Dave. But getting back to the space monsters, um, it's gonna be quick, but
I'll look
it can
a
be
squirrel.
yeah. It's a very slow moving target. It's speed 1, and it just keeps going right towards the planet. But it takes 600 points of damage to destroy. The Igneous has 6 weapons, 1 lost, with each 100 points of damage scored. So the weapons are destroyed in order 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6. I'm assuming those are the headings. Okay, each weapon in this fire launches once per turn, as noted because of the extragalactic Nature, each weapon is randomly simulating the fire of one known weapon. Each weapon has a 120-degree firing arc, i.e., like FA arc. Set in a direction designated by its number. Okay. The chart, at 328, drones have 360. Note that all arming and cycling requirements for the weapons and for all the Igneous are completely and utterly ignored. Each turn after the ship has completed energy allocation and plotted its movement, the player rolls one die for each of the 6 weapons. This determines the type of weapon as follows and goes from Plasma R, Hellbore, a Mauler. I definitely want to read about that. A Drone Rack, Photon Torpedo Phaser 1, Disruptor Bolt, Plasma F, Fusion Beam, Tractor Repulsor Beam, or a Plasmatic Pulsar. I assume that's a PPD is what they mean. Okay. So it's a Drone Rack. It has 3 Type Fs that launches during the turn. Big surprise. Plasma R fires immediately. Mauler assumes it has 20 points of power. Wow. And Plasma F's got 2 Plasma Fs. As per Hellbore. Hellbore fires the first opportunity, best range brack. For example, if the ship closes approach things on the turn is to be 6 hexes, the weapon will fire at range 8, since 5 to 8 is the best it will get. If the range is less than 9, the weapon will fire as an overloaded one. Fun.
Kind of reminds me of the Berserker thing by Fred Saberhagen. Big automated robot thing that wants to kill us.
Big surprise. These can be damaged by normal suicide shuttle mines, which are automatic. Then ship explosions. So if you want to suicide yourself against the ship, that might help. Igneous cannot be boarded, not even by hit and run raids. And Igneous is also immune to electronic warfare, cannot be towed by tractor beams, cannot be boarded, ignores webs. Wow. Cannot be damaged by anti-drones, cannot be displaced. Wow. Or put in stasis. Wow. Has no critical hits and can see through cloaks. Nasty guy. Yeah.
Robot thing that wants to kill us.
Yep. To me, the shocking part one is that it ignores webs. Which, wow. Obviously, the weapons don't ignore webs, but
what's the scale of the thing?
It's
not exactly a starship.
It's larger than that. It's 600 points of damage to kill it. So it is a moving base. Is what it is. Yep. Well, it's that's what it's described as. It is a robot battle station, which is going to a planet to destroy it. Which is interesting. That it's a battle station, and it's basically seeking out a planetoid to kill it.
Yeah, kill all carbon.
Yeah. Okay. One thing. Of course, it has MSIDs, which fails to function after 300 points of damage. The one thing I'm wondering about.
Oh, hey, you can kill off its MSIDs.
Yeah.
How many turns do you get to kill it?
Well,
before it reaches its target.
Okay. Well, the planet's at 3824. It's at 0307. What's that? Jeez. Like, was it? Trying to calculate it. Whoa. So it's opposite ends of the board. So it's around, geez, that would mean it's between 30 and 40 turns because it moves 1 hex per turn. So to say very least, you just keep on pummeling at it. And let me see, let's double check on
Yeah,
one.
there's 600 points to kill it. And you're basically
It's movement. The starship must use plotted movement. In addition, the starship, woo,
yeah, it's the player.
must use
You're not a robot.
plotted movement, level C1. In addition, the cruiser must plot all weapons fired before each turn begins. This is the exception to C1.35. Wow. That's interesting. And
Well, they're going a little bit overboard on the it's a robot and you're not.
right.
About how you have to fight AI.
Mm-hmm. The impact of Igneous on the planet will destroy both. Hey, that's one way to get rid of it. Just just let it strike the planet. Then you destroy it, right? You win. So a couple billion people are dying in the process. It's still dead.
Until it rebuilds itself. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And of course, they mentioned
Extra of them come out of the remains of the planet.
this designers know this scenario was designed in answer to a challenge to include solitary scenarios in the Nexus magazine. It was actually originally publication was in Nexus number 6. Wow. Tactics. The only thing you can do is carefully time your strikes will be made. When your strikes will be made, you know what weapons he may have, and when he probably will use them. So be prepared to run in as fast as possible speeds and turn away as soon as you can. Even so, you're going to look like Swiss cheese before this is over. Sometimes all you can do at the end of this game, and a turn with Igneous next door, is self-destruct, but that is a last option. Only if your blast will be enough to finish Igneous. Now, my question, given how it's from Nexus number 4, what set of the rules was this designed against? I say that because before the Captain's Edition, the Commander's Edition, the explosive strength of a ship was a lot greater than Captain's Edition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and don't forget they didn't have the PPDs in it either. So it was probably a different setup on weapons that it had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's possible that this was.
Remember, if they published this in that later Captain's Log, 30-something, then that's into the
41.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been readapted.
Right, there's a whole big write-up for those of you on in Captain's Log number 36. There was a whole big write-up on monster special rules on the Igneous. Igneous, the Stone of Death, and it gives a whole big background, which is interesting. I'm not about to go through the background.
Aw.
Hey, it's getting late. As it is, I'm surprised we got to get through this Igneous, which is interesting. Obviously it has 6 weapons and and there are different arcs that they fire against. So in theory, you can avoid, because of when each turn after the ship has completed any allocation and plotted its movement, then you figure out the weapons. Oh, that's nasty. That's nasty. So you know what possible his weapons could be. Problem is you got plotted movement. and
Right.
and you
Just is random afterwards.
yep, after you actually plot your movement. Because like, if you knew that you have a plasma R facing your direction, you know, then you would go, oh yeah, given that I need to do this. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is you degrade it significantly
Hmm.
over time.
Actually, that's one thing I'd have to look.
Self-repair.
There's one thing I'd have to look at is this, which is the plotted movement C1.33, because of I don't know how it handles emergency deceleration. Because I think there is the possibility that under plotted movement, you can still do a an action to adjust the movement of the ship, i.e., emergency deceleration.
Well, the flip side of it is also look, it's going to lose one of its weapons with every 100 points of damage you do to it. So you get a couple good battle passes on it, and you can create a blind spot.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Agreed.
Once you create that blind spot,
Yeah,
unless the
it's good.
thing has an automatic rule of like all the weapons will bear. Now it says
Yeah.
they have arcs. So
Yep. Tough part is that it loses it by first shield number 1, then shield number 3, then shield number 5. So 1, then 3, then 5, then 2, then 4, then 6. So it makes it hard to have it so like half the ship is to the point where it's degraded.
right, it doesn't lose them like all on one side.
Right, you have to get like 400 points of damage to have the right side of the ship to be blind. In that when it
But on
comes to
the side of that,
weapons fire.
you still make a side that has one less weapon pointed at you,
Right,
and you can exploit that.
right. So after 200, you can go down one side versus the other. You know, so it looks like a challenging one. And to me, the fun part for me was seeing that it ignores webs, because that means the even if you have webcasters, it doesn't matter if you have webcasters. The Igneous ignores it
I
for
think
move.
the weapons function would probably still work though.
Right, right. Oh yeah,
But even so, even if it's ignoring it, it's moving it one hex per turn.
right. Agreed. Um, I'm assuming what means it ignores it means like for movement it ignores it. Versus the weapons themselves, like the drones from the drone rack will still get caught in the web, or the plasmas will still get caught in the web.
Oh, you never know.
You know,
I don't know. Did they
I don't
actually
know.
clarify that?
Yeah, what I would do is probably look at this, the special monster special rules, because a lot of times, like webs, okay, it's unaffected by the webs. Note specifically that it ignores webs for this purpose, its weapons can fire through and in the case of seeking weapons, pass through the webs without being hindered. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
One reason the Klingons have tried
Yep.
everything they can to capture Ignis is a strong desire to gain this technology. Wow. That would be nasty if they could figure out how the Ignis does it. But of course, also it's extragalactic, so it might be
Yeah.
tied into the way the weapon system and the technology that it uses for even movement. You know.
And everybody would like to know how to ignore cloaks.
Oh yeah, agreed. Big surprise that the things can't be placed in stasis. I'm not sure. That's one thing I have to look at. which is, can like star bases be put in stasis?
No.
Exactly. So, in other words, it might be just because it's too big, they can't be put in stasis, or just
If I remember correctly, there was in-universe reason was something about stabilizers.
those stabilizers. Yeah, which well, this base doesn't have them, but doesn't matter.
Hey, it's extragalactic and it's the size of a small moon.
Exactly.
So it could be a scaling issue. It could be stabilizers. It could be anything.
Agreed. Agreed.
Hand wavium.
Panbavium. Agreed. Agreed. Well, I think we definitely need to wrap it up for the evening because it is getting late. It's getting to the point where I'm going to turn into a pumpkin, and you don't want to see that. It gets very ugly.
Hey, if you want to pop up for a day, let me know.
We'll do.
Mm-hmm. Or we could do a game day. So
I will.
Barry's not on the road yet. If he could pop out for that too.
I will see. As I said, what I want to really do is focus on SFU Online Starfleet Warlord because I have not spent much time on either lately. And when it comes to SFU Online, haven't spent much time on it for the past 10 years. I've done some tweaks here, tweaks there, fixed bugs. Did some of the initial work on updating the UI and so forth. And I feel like I really need to work on improving that. That's my main focus. Obviously, there might be a time where I go, next week where I go, okay, I'm gonna take a break, and I'll let you know.
And we could be your break from the
break from. Okay, whatever. Okay. Oh, jeez. What the heck? I was supposed to do that. Come on. Show me. Show my beautiful face. Okay, well, anyway. Doug, you have a good night.
Yep. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome. Bye. Not sure why that's happening, but anyhow. So, yeah, to bring up OBS, the keys they stopped working. I'm not sure why. But anyhow, had a nice discussion about my game a lot, and a little bit about the Igneous monster, which definitely seems like a nasty little beast. Slow moving, but ultimately deadly. So with that, I am Paul Franz. I'd bid you a good night.